Let's talk about Harry and Meghan, our favourite topic. Now, you alerted me, Kinsey, over the weekend to what I consider to be a very dubious report in one of the Sunday papers, saying that Netflix, far from the reports we've been seeing, that they've had it with Harry and Meghan, they're cancelling the contract. This report said that Netflix are in fact negotiating a new solo contract for Meghan. Well, I would ask to that story, why? Why would they be doing this? She's failed at every turn. On the same day this story was published, another paper, the Sunday Telegraph, ran a story saying that Netflix bosses were counting the days until they can jettison their ongoing Markle problem, that they can't wait to get rid of her. Now, that smacks of the truth. Why would Netflix they don't want to keep her, do they?
I think that this reeks as a last-ditch effort to try to save the deal, so that
By Netflix? Why would they want to save the deal?
By Meghan. I think.
Oh, by Meghan. I got that. Okay.
Yeah, I don't really see. I can see Meghan's team saying, "Well, no, we should leak that and this is all hypothetical. We should leak that." We're still in discussions because there's time for Netflix to change their mind. We understand that this all expires in September. But yeah, it's so opposite of everything we've heard over the last week or so. They said specifically that her season 2 of With Love Meghan was going to be the jump off point for this next contract. That doesn't make sense to me when I heard that the only reason she got a season 2 was because Netflix was milking that return on investment. It took Harry and Meghan 2 years to actually execute one project for them, which was the Harry and Meghan documentary. 2 years, multiple production companies. It was the single only successful commercially project that they executed for Netflix. We've gone over the cancellation of Pearl before it even began, Heart of Invictus, Live to Lead, the Polo docuseries. Everything else was a flop. And I even think that Meghan's show With Love Meghan is considered a flop. But the way that this person tries to justify this, they said people point to Polo was a flop, but it's worth remembering that Harry and Meghan was the biggest documentary for Netflix in 2022. That alone could afford them 50 flops, and it still would be worth it for Netflix. How so? You and I both know that you're only as relevant as your last hit. You are only as relevant as your last good execution. And it's been too long since they've provided them with any quality content. And I use that phrase very loosely, like her fruit spread.
Well, as usual, Kinsey, you've helped me make sense of this situation. That, of course, is the explanation, isn't it? That these desperate rumours of perhaps continued talks between Netflix and Meghan are being put around almost certainly by Meghan's people.
Well, listen to this line. With Love Meghan has been worth it too. It's done really well, especially in America, which is the only place that matters. That would come from Meghan's team.
Yeah, and actually, with all due respect to America, of course it matters. It's the most important sort of a commercial country in the world for everything, but especially for show business. But whilst America matters, showbiz is international now. It's global. Netflix is a global streaming service, and this parochial obsession with America no longer counts. They need hits around the world. They need hits in Australia. They need hits in Britain. They need their programs to succeed all over the planet, and her program With Love Meghan didn't succeed anywhere, let alone America, did it?
No, and they said that if you're in the top third of Netflix, you're getting another deal.
No, you're not. This is rubbish, isn't it?
Think about all of the shows that were loved on Netflix that got killed because they were too expensive or there was too much drama behind the scenes and it just wasn't worth it. Yeah, I don't know. I've said to you before, and I'll say it again, if they chose to hang on to her I would not be surprised because they, according to Ted Sarandos in the Variety article, are partners with her in the As Ever commercial venture. I also don't think that the theory is too far off that they'd like to maintain a relationship with her in case things go south. Rumors over the weekend circulating that after Prince Harry went to Angola, he spent a few days alone in Botswana, and that Meghan was furious that she couldn't get a hold of him. I mean, these are the types of stories that are circulating today. Is everything hunky-dory at home? I don't know.
I can't imagine that it's sort of going all that well right now at home, because it's not going well at all, generally speaking. But you're right. I mean, this nonsense about, oh, after they had the hit with Harry and Meghan, their first series, which did do very well, they've got leeway, you know, for 22 flops. That's rubbish. That's garbage. Yeah. What I think has worried Netflix and anyone else involved with Harry and Meghan for commercial reasons ever since Harry and Meghan, the documentary series that basically poured a bucket all over King Charles, a bucket all over the royal family, called them racists, called millions of bemused Brits, including me, slave drivers, and so on and so forth. What everybody knew is, you know, even though that's a load of old cobblers is not true, it's quite compelling to listen to these two insulting people, insulting Harry's dad and his relatives. It's quite good entertainment. So I think that what people at Netflix and people in Hollywood concluded after this was, well, okay, they did that well. They're good when they're dumping on the king and his family, like they did in the Oprah interview. But when they're not doing that, they've got nothing left in the tank. They've got nothing left to give. When they try and do things that aren't dumping on the royal family, they're hopeless. So then you got...
Right, because you've seen this huge decline in their popularity the more that they both claim that they're pursuing joy or that they've moved on.
Yeah.
Like Meghan's like, I'm pursuing joy. And we're all like, no, you're not.
Yeah.
We're not buying that.
Yeah. Exactly right. Well, I mean... I think that she's currently experiencing the opposite of joy. I think we discussed this the other day, but the rosé wine, Chateau Meg, $30 a bottle, minimum purchase 3 bottles, $20 shipping, $120 for some average rosé. Apparently it's not selling. So that's not selling.
Chateau Hangover is what I like to call it.
Chateau Hangover, because it's very strong. 14.5%. You know, next stop, Scotch whiskey.
Next stop, you're going to need an Uber, all right?
Yeah, yeah, don't drive home after drinking Chateau Meg, folks. Seriously. So that's not selling, we understand, and nor is anything else. So I just don't think anything's going very well for Ms. Markle right now.
The only way that, and I should say, the only way that makes sense to me is if they're being dishonest on what the website says, because Meghan and her team told us that they sold out. So is she only putting limited quantities available on her website? It was available for almost an hour after it was, after it launched. So yeah, I mean, I think we need to consider that stuff. And when you listen to the original report that Netflix was unhappy with Meghan being obsessed with her own personal brand, those are the type of decisions that Netflix would really not appreciate. Somebody, for their own ego, only listing a limited quantity on their website so that they could claim that they sold out of something that they had too many bottles of.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. It's I mean, it happens with all her products. I mean, as I said to you before, Kinsey, for me, it seems like a very strange business model to have an online store on which nothing is ever available.
And it's if you think about it, it's the only positive press she gets lately. Everybody bought my jam. Everybody bought my rosé. Yeah. Otherwise, she's getting zero positive press.
Yeah, it's not looking good, is it? Meanwhile, let's talk about Harry for a bit. Another story
I don't
that
know if there's that much to say.
yeah, well, as always, it's a bit of an empty book. He doesn't get up to too much these days. Well, he never did really. But in one of the papers this weekend, it said that Harry had had presented a major. This is what it was described as, a major peace offering to the king. What he's done is he's offered to share. This is Harry. He's offered to share his always empty diary with King Charles's office, so that in future they can avoid headline clashes. You know, when didn't he go landmine walking on the same day it was Camilla's birthday or something like that?
One of the 1,000 examples that you and I point out regularly. Oh my gosh, the Princess of Wales, who has had cancer, is going to be at Trooping the Colour. Insert Megan's dog biscuits. I mean, it's a typical Tuesday. If there is a great, wonderful, exciting royal story, then Harry and Meghan. And what I love about this article is that it says that Harry and Meghan typically do love that is something that they get a kick out of, and that this is some sort of big sacrifice for Harry to allow them to have his diary, access to his diary. And it's understood that while he will not, like, the palace can't change it in any way, they're not going to be able to say, okay, we're doing something on Tuesday, so you can't do that thing you've already told us you're doing on Tuesday. It's the first time since 2020 that Prince Harry's been open to Prince William being given knowledge of his movements. I mean, are you kidding? This is how charitable are you? What a charitable sacrifice from this worthless little twerp.
Yeah,
that his brother's going to be able to know when he jumps on a plane to talk about climate change in wherever.
Yeah, for money. I mean, as I said earlier, I mean, this was billed as a major peace offering. Well, if that's a major peace offering, I'd hate to see a minor peace offering. I mean, it's nothing, isn't it? I mean, what does his diary say? You know, next Tuesday, going surfing. Thursday, will smoke 10 joints.
Gotta pick the kids up at school again today.
Pick kids up, get up, you know, watch Meghan make lousy TV series, so on and so forth. I mean, you know, what's it going to be in his diary anyway? And, you know, I just don't see this as a major peace offering, do you?
I mean, I feel like a major peace offering would be coming out and being like, you know what? No one in my family's racist. Sorry about that. Like, there's no royal racist. That would be a major peace offering, trying to undo any damage you've done over the last 5 years. Letting us know when you're getting your teeth cleaned is not doing us any favors. Like, I'm sorry, that's not going to benefit us at all. And, you know, I'd also say that when the royals really don't want to get kicked off the front pages, they do what they have to do to ensure that it's their pictures that dominate. But we obviously see Meghan during really great campaigns that William and Catherine are in the midst of. All of a sudden, she starts posting pictures of the back of her kids' heads. So that ends up splashed on all of the newspapers. Like, why? Why are the newspapers? Well, I don't care what the back of Archie's head looks like. I'm sorry. Well,
it looks very red. But when she's, you can tell when she's frustrated by the levels of publicity she's achieving. She shows us an especially large bit of one of her kids' heads, doesn't she? You know, you get a really big shot of the back of the head. I mean, it's just this bizarre kind of ritual that she seems to go through. And what makes me laugh about this, Harry has offered to share his empty diary with King Charles and William so that they can avoid future headline clashes. Well, these are exactly the sort of clashes that Meghan stands accused of going out of her way to engineer, aren't they? I mean, she orchestrates these.
Yeah, and that's what the article said. It says typically Harry and Meghan voluntarily do this. So that, I guess, is why this is some big charitable moment from the pair. But you know, it's convenient that Meghan Markle, the only one that actually probably has a busy schedule, Drew Barrymore show, having someone else cook the cookies that I take on the Drew Barrymore show and picking them up, whatever. Definitely not getting her
Don't forget,
clothing.
Kinsey, chopping fruit, lots of vegetables, chopping,
Relentlessly chopping vegetables.
chopping.
We know she's not getting her clothing tailored or ironed, so we need to remove that from the to-do list. But it's Meghan's schedule that really affects the royal family, less so Harry. And yeah, I agree with you. This is a stretch. This is quite the stretch to say Prince Harry is some sort of martyr because he's going to let us know when he's got to take his car in for an oil change.
Exactly right. Now, with Meghan, though, I mean, she's gone quite unusually quiet, hasn't she? I mean, she hasn't posted anything on Instagram for, for 7 or 8 seconds. No, I mean, she genuinely hasn't published anything on Instagram for quite a long time by her standards. What do you put that down to? Because she tends to post a lot when she's trying to sell something, ahead of the wine release. I mean, she was absolutely frantic on social media. So now that she's gone very quiet, what do you think that's about? Do you think she might be sulking a bit about the Netflix deal or something like that? Or the lack thereof?
Well, I wish that her audience would notice that. And I feel like I wish her audience were astute enough to notice that, like, if she's not willing to receive comments, if she's not willing to engage with you online, this is a one-way conversation with one objective and one objective only, and that's to take your money. So yeah, you've made a really good point that she's only willing to be active on social media when she's trying to take from your wallet. Otherwise, she goes quiet. We know she's not working on Meet Me at the Lake because Page Six exclusively reported that there's no director, no cast for Meet Me at the Lake 2 years after it was announced that Netflix bought the rights for Harry and Meghan. So we know
$2 million, right? Or was it $3 million?
Yeah, it was a ludicrous amount of money.
I think it was $3 million, 2.2 million pounds. Yeah.
What I can tell you, and take this with a grain of salt, similar to the Meghan Markle busy negotiating her new Netflix contract story, is that Meghan's friends say that she's continuing to focus on expanding as ever, and that she has a new champagne range coming out and holiday products, which, just for the love of God, is it going to be Christmas tree sprinkles instead of flour? Is it going to be like, why? I do not associate Meghan Markle with the birth of Jesus Christ, and I refuse to. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to carry on. I mean, so she's going to release champagne.
Yeah.
Well,
yes.
It'll have to be sparkling wine because champagne actually does have to come from the Champagne region in France. So unless she's going to do a deal with Moet Chandon or something,
no, I don't think
it'll be Meghan Sparkle Markle, won't it?
Oh, God, please don't do that. I don't think she can do that because I think her nephew has a weed company that's already called Markle Sparkle. I think that conflicts too much with her nephew that has the marijuana named Markle Sparkle. Yeah. But yeah, so they say that she is continuing to evolve with new products that align with her vision for quality and lifestyle goods. But I mean, she's got to be busy issuing the refunds to people who she had to apologize to because she didn't have the product she sold to them originally. That's happened multiple times throughout multiple launches. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. We know she's not working on a podcast. She said she's taking a back seat there and going to allow that to rest. Nothing that she does makes any sense. It was like this vomit of brand launches at the beginning of 2025, and then she completely disappears. There's a lack of consistency, and it's I can't imagine actually being a fan of hers.
Do you want to know her problem, Kinsey?
Where do we start?
Yeah, all right. Her very basic, essential problem. She's just not very good at stuff. She's just not very talented, and nothing she does works out. Before you go, a few words about Meet Me at the Lake. This is the rights to the best-selling book of the same name, which the gruesome twosome Harry and Meghan brought about, what was it, 2 years ago, 3 years ago?
2 years ago, yeah.
2 years ago for $3 million. So they're going to make this best-selling book into a movie. And as people are pointing out, 2 years on, it's not in development. They haven't hired a director. They haven't got a producer, and so on and so forth. So they spent $2 million on the rights to a book for a film that clearly just isn't going to be made. It's extraordinary. It's an extraordinary way to go on, isn't it?
You know, 2 years ago, I would have said, let's give them some patience. But the writer's strike has come and gone. Everybody's back to work. In fact, everybody's eager for work. It seems like Netflix was eager for this project to get going. The fact that it hasn't, I think, is completely unacceptable. Okay, let's pretend that Harry and Meghan are as popular as they used to be. If it was announced that Harry and Meghan purchased the rights to this book, and you were somebody that was just in the pop culture space and you wanted to make a name for yourself, you would be banging down their Montecito door saying, let me direct this. I want to work on this. Let me help develop this script. That's not happening because Hollywood has turned their backs on Harry and Meghan. By all accounts, this is a pretty decent book. It's a pretty decent story. And you would assume that people would want the association with Harry and Meghan, but they have developed a reputation for being difficult to collaborate with, for treating their employees poorly, and for not knowing their butt from a hole in the ground. And so if you are experienced or do want to grow in this profession, it's not worth the effort. It's not worth it because you don't want to go fight with these two imbeciles that, you know, have been given everything because of Harry's DNA.
And it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You're from Hollywood. You understand how it goes. I used to live there. I understand how it goes. You can't just stand up and say, right, we're going to make a movie. We don't know anything about it, but we're going to make a film. You can't do it like that. It just is never going to work. So you've got these two neophytes who know nothing about making films, nothing about producing films, directing them, all the organisation that has to go into it, and yet they announce, oh, we've bought the rights, $3 million. It's absurd. It's just so absurd. But it keeps us occupied, doesn't it, Kinsey? And we will carry on monitoring the increasingly strange lives of this couple, the gruesome twosome, at their Montecito mansion in the sun on the west coast there.